All right, everybody. Thank you for joining this session. I'm going to talk today about the Pi hybrid operation. So meaning you're going to use Pi with Connect, and this is going to be a hybrid environment. Uh, First things first, my name is Fabio Dani. I've been with AVEVA for around 17 years now, and I work with the Product Readiness Guild as a software developer. We do early customer engagements like lighthouses and with pre-released software. And let's get started. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the advantages of the hybrid cloud, um, how the Connect hybrid cloud works, how we have Pi to Connect, Connect to Pi. I'm going to show you from download up to having the data into Connect and back. And then I'm going to do this cyclic idea of how this data should be combined everywhere. All right, so advantages. You can, as I said before, combine your existing on-premise resources and system with cloud services. So whatever you have is not going to be lost. It's going to be used in combination with our cloud offering. In this case, you can leverage advanced tools. So tools, as we saw before, like Databricks, you can actually use your Pi data, going to Connect, and then you can use these advanced tools to be able to analyze your data and seeing your data in a different way. If you've been with the Pi system for a while, you know that more people looking at your data, the better, the more value it has. So Connect Hybrid gives you the opportunity to get data in the eyes of people that were not seeing it before. And of course, if you have you have a validated system, like in pharma industry is very common, and you do not want to send this data to the cloud, you don't have to. So with the hybrid cloud, you do not need to commit to a full, thank you, with a full migration. You can migrate just parts of the data if you want to. The idea of the Connect hybrid is to extend value for the Pi users. And you can aggregate data from edge, so you can use an adapter, send data to Connect directly. You can use multiple Pi servers. You can get data from different Pi servers and send to Connect, and then they'll be all aggregated in the cloud. You can scale. You are not bounded by your hardware anymore. It's a cloud system, so it can grow as you need. We all love our Pi servers, but we know as time goes by, archives are created, you need to touch the hardware, Windows get to the end of life, and we need to start dealing with the hardware. With Connect, that is no longer a problem. You can share this data with your colleagues because it's in the cloud. You can just access it and read the data. You do not need VPNs or anything like that. You can use advanced analytics or any other tools you would like to use. And using communities, for example, you can share this with a third party. So you have a vendor of a specific machine, and you can share with them streams that monitor this machine and then can give you insights on how that specific equipment is working, which is a very good idea. You can collaborate because when you are bounded in your own plant, you are going to see only the data from your Pi system. But maybe if you use Pi to Connect, you are going to have a data scientist or a business analyst that is going to see this data and combine it with, let's say, financial data or like other market data. And not only the plant data that is going to be used, but all this marketing and financial data combined to give you a solution, to give you more information about what you currently have and how is your plant operating. And of course, if they have insights, they can share it back using Connect to Pi. So you can have it again back into your plant, back into your Pi Vision, back into your own favorite data link report. You can actually see this data back. Another thing is we have spent a lot of time building our assets and our AF element and attributes and all those things. This is not going to be lost. This can be actually sent to Connect, and we can visualize them in a very nice way, like in a nice graph, as we see here. In addition, our events. We love our events. And you can actually send your events to Connect. And now you can start seeing the events into your Connect visualization services. So very interesting way of seeing your data now. So the next step is, like, to summarize what I've been talking here, is you get your data from Pi, go to Connect, do advanced analytics, make insights, like generate insights, recommendations, and things like that. And using Connect to Pi, we send this data back. Okay? And I'm going to show you two demos. One of them is from Pi to Connect. So you're going to see zoom ins and outs and things like that, but there is no cuts, no editing. The time that the video takes is actually the time that it took me to configure the whole thing from download up to the data into Connect. So let me get started. All right, so in here, I'm basically checking my machine name, and I'm going to go to Connect, and I'm going to see if I have my agent registered. And well, as you can see, it's not registered. So I'm downloading my agent now. So the download is right there. It's going to take a second. And even in a video, making the download makes me nervous. It's done. It's gone. So let's double click it. And let's get started. All right. So as a good install kit, is going to give you some information, add some information. You can choose the user that runs the agent. I'm just choosing the default one. And after a few seconds, it is installed. So now it is going to bring the UI for the Pi to Connect agent. I need to sign into Connect, so now it is actually doing all the security, configuring the security so it can connect in the future. And I need to choose where I'm sending this data. I'm giving the agent a description so I can find it later on. So nothing too complicated. I'm opting in to send the data. I can choose my AF or my data archive. I've chosen just my data archive. And I'm just typing my server. I'm adding it. So at this point, the agent is connecting to my Pi server. It is just checking if it can or cannot connect and things like that. And it's connected. I make sure everything is fine, and we are good to go. So the work in the agent, in the UI here is done. So now it's a matter of configuring my transfer. So I'm going to go and check if my agent is now registered. Now we can see the agent, it's there. And for now it is just registered. It is not sending any data. We just know the agent is installed and connecting to Connect. So I'm giving my transfer a name. So transfer demo, not very creative, but usually functional. I'm getting how much data am I going to send to Connect. I can choose how much metadata I put into my streams. The default is medium. I'm leaving it as is. Then, okay, now I need to choose my points in Pi. I can search in different ways. In my case, I only have the default ones. And I'm going to select all of them and save my transfer. So far, very simple. And now my transfer is stopped. So I need to start it. And as soon as I start, the agent will start working. So it will start checking how many streams, how many tags I selected. Then I can check the metrics. So you can check how your transfer is going. In this case, it understands that I have 10 points. And at this point, it's going to create all my streams. So it just did, as you can see in green, it created my streams right away. It is processing my archive to get that 30 days worth of data that I selected earlier. And the historical rate is going to keep raising because it is just getting all the data it can from Pi and sending it back to Connect. And you see the archive just completed. So it just managed to complete all the transfer, created all the streams, and we're gone. So at this point, it is transferring current data So the historical part is gone, and the current data is being transferred to connect all the time. So right now, I'm telling you that the data is there, but I'm going to show you if it actually is. And as you can see, so I'm going to search for the text for the point that I just transferred. And this is our usual friends, CDT, sinusoid, like everybody probably knows them. And I'm going to do a trend, and I want to show them in a trend. This is the last 8 hours. And I'm just going to select the data for the week, just to make sure that we can actually see it. And everything is there. Like simply few clicks, no code, nothing major, and it is working. And I'm showing you another one just as a table, so you can see the data in a table format if you want to. And that's it. So in this about 5 minutes, we managed to download, configure the agent, configure the transfer, and everything is there. So, as I was saying before, now let's assume that we have analytics that is giving me insights about something, and I want to have this data back into my Pi server. How do I do that? So, I'm going to go ahead and start it here. Again, I'm going to go and see check my stream that has my data that I got from analytics. It's ideal running conditions of my reactor. So it is telling me that, well, I have this much data, and this data at this point only exists in Connect. So I'm going to go and I'm going to go into SMT, and I'm going to try to find this specific point. And I'm going to search, and I'm expecting, well, it's not there because I didn't configure the transfer yet. Okay? All right. So let's get to work. So now I'm going to go to my Pi agent again, but instead of Pi to connect, I'm going to go to connect to Pi. I'm going to look for my agent as I did before. It's not here. Then I'm downloading it. And this is a different agent because it's from the cloud to the on-prem system. It downloaded. So now, again, installation. And as a good install kit, you double click it. You go to the next one, you choose where to install, the port it is using. It's asking for admin privileges to install. And as soon as it finishes, it is going to launch the UI so we can start configuring the on-prem part of the agent. So it is going to launch it, and it's going to ask for admin privileges. Otherwise, we won't be able to save the configuration. I just relaunch it, and that's it. So now I'll start configuring the agent. First of all, the cloud. So where it is going to go fetch the data. And I need to first connect. So all the authentication and configuration is fixed. I choose my namespace in this case. And now I need to choose the service account. So the agent runs with a specific user. You can choose your custom or use the default one. Everything is it's optional. Then you need your PiWeb API. In my case, it is in my local machine, so I'm using localhost. It gives you some help for the PiWeb API. I'm using Windows authentication, and that should be it. The configuration here is done. So I submit. It is going to save and start the agent in the background. And the UI part, the on-prem part, is done. So now let's go to the agent itself, and let's look for the agent that we just configured, and it should show here as registered. So it is there, it is registered. So now I need to add a transfer. I'm giving it a name, so it will make sense. So at this point, I will choose history recovery. I can give a prefix, so if you want to identify your points in Pi, you can give it a prefix as you want. In my case, I didn't. I'm getting a month worth of data into Pi from Connect. I'm selecting my stream. I can choose to change the name of the stream. So if you want to call it something completely different than the stream, you can. But in my case, I'm just using it as it is. And you will start the transfer. So it's pretty similar to what we saw earlier. You create the transfer and you start it. You make sure that you are starting it, just confirming. And we can monitor. You can see here that so far it is just doing some background job. It is not active. It is not doing much. But in a few seconds, you are going to see that it is going to tell us that, well, our transfer has started. It has created the point in Pi. So here it already says that it's sending data and the historical is in progress. So in a few seconds, you're going to see this just moving to 100% and it's done. So right now, I'm going to search again my point, the one we searched before that didn't exist, and now it is there. And we can see the data that we had in Connect that now is showing in Pi. So as simple as that, we managed to make in about 10 minutes data from Pi to Connect and from Connect back to Pi. After my demo, this customer, there's going to be a session tomorrow. We work with them in a Lighthouse engagement, and they use the hybrid Pi. So we literally did what we did in this presentation. We got data from Pi to Connect, did a lot of analysis and recommendations, and then back to Pi because their operators would want to look at Pi things, at Pi Vision screens. Very interesting project. I recommend you to watch. And as my colleagues already said, tomorrow there's going to be the roadmap that is going to show you what's coming in the future at 1:30 in the auditorium. So it's an excellent talk that I highly recommend you to watch. That's all I got.
Thanks, Fabio. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Appreciate the participation.